If you saw my last video about Set and Osiris, then you know how this started. Set murdered his own brother, Osiris. Isis found the pieces, put him back together, and Osiris rose again, not as king of Egypt, but as king of the dead. But Set was never planning to stop there, and Isis was carrying something he couldn't allow to survive. Isis was pregnant with Osiris's heir, and Set, the god who'd already killed his own brother for a throne, was never going to let that child grow up to challenge him. So Isis vanished into the marshlands of Chemis, a floating tangle of reeds so dense even the gods struggled to find it. There, in hiding, she gave birth. She named her son Horus. For years, Isis raised him alone, shape-shifting into a bird to scout for Set's spies, but always returned before dawn. No palace, no guards, just a mother, a hidden son, and a god out there waiting to finish what he started. Her worst fear nearly came true anyway. One day, a scorpion, some say sent by Set himself, stung the young god. Horus stopped breathing. The heir to Egypt's throne was dying in the mud, with no one but his mother to save him. Isis did the only thing she could. She cried out for help. Her cry was so desperate it stopped the sun god's boat in the sky. Thoth came down and healed the boy with words of power alone. Horus lived, and he grew. Years later, Horus walked into the hall of the gods and made his claim. The throne of Egypt belonged to him. By blood, by right, Set disagreed. You'd think this would be simple. It wasn't. Some gods backed Horus, the rightful heir. Others backed Set, the older, stronger, more battle-tested god who had already proven he could seize power. Ra himself didn't trust Horus yet, called him too young, too untested. So instead of a quick ruling, the gods did something very on brand for this myth. They dragged it out for 80 years. What followed was a war for the throne, wrestling matches, underwater battles. Isis intervened more than once to protect her son. Neither side would yield. Then Set went too far. In one of the brutal clashes, he tore out Horus's eye completely, the same eye that would one day become one of the most recognized symbols on Earth. Thoth healed the wound completely, restoring the eye whole, and somehow more powerful than before. Horus stood back up. The war wasn't over yet. Horus fought back just as savagely. Neither god walked away clean. The gods set one final trial. Build a boat from stone and race it down the river. Set, arrogant as ever, carved his boat from real stone. It sank the moment he stepped in. Horus built his from wood, painted to look like stone. He won easily. This war was never really about strength. It was about who could outthink the other. Even after all that, the gods still couldn't agree. So Osiris, Horus's father, ruler of the dead, sent word himself, "Give my son what's his, or I'll send the dead to take it." That ended the debate.
Horus took his father's throne. Set was sent to rule over chaos, storms, and the wilderness instead. The nephew who survived poison, hiding, and mutilation had finally won.
That healed eye became the Wadjet, a symbol of protection worn by the living and placed over the hearts of the dead, to guard their souls on the same journey Osiris now ruled over. Set had size, brutality, and a head start. Horus had none of that, just patience, cleverness, and a claim he refused to let go of, despite being wounded and outmatched. Every pharaoh who ruled after him claimed to be Horus reborn. And that eye he lost? You've probably seen it. It's still one of the most recognized symbols on Earth. Makes me wonder, would you have fought 80 years for a throne or walked away?